Great win by the Titans. The Gold Coast Titans have struggled for a couple of years.
You picked them, Baz, didn't you?
I tipped them.
Yeah.
I thought there's two
sheds?
reasons for it. The sheds, they shed their losing tag. They were magnificent at the start of the game. 42 tackles without handling the ball.
Baz, I saw that stat
Yep.
and couldn't believe it. Have you ever seen it before?
No, 4 line dropouts in the first 6 minutes. They couldn't get the ball in their hand, and they just kept tackling.
And is
Will
that-
Bailey went down injured in that period.
All right.
Didn't come back onto the field. I thought it was a win, which took the Titans up a step. They will contend now for the finals if they can maintain that.
Well,
form.
it does two things. The self-belief for, what would you say it was, 7 sets.
Yep.
Defending for 7 sets without being breached.
Yeah.
Against a good attacking top
Enormous
side.
growth. And on the flip side, 7 cracks at it.
Yep.
One after the other in good field position, and you can't penetrate. You start to think,
Yep.
we're not going to win today.
I have a theory on that, and I told you before about it. I don't like teams that go into camp for a week before a game, which the Cowboys did for a club game. I just think it takes them out of their routine. It puts them into a hotel room on the Gold Coast where you're sharing with one of your teammates.
Yeah.
The beach is down the road, the pub's down the road. Instead of being at home, doing the things you always do.
On your own beach, your own pub.
Well, wherever you might live, they're living in Townsville.
Yeah.
You know, they've got routines that
Yeah.
they get into. To take them out of that, I just don't, and that's why I tip the Titans. I don't like teams that do that mid-season. Pre-season, fine.
Baz, I think it's a good point because I actually think it achieves the opposite to what they want. I actually think it dulls their intensity a bit.
Yeah.
When you're arriving there the day before, boys, plane flight, just about there, here we are, night before, building up. There's this, it's like the surf just building up to this crescendo.
Yeah.
But if you're there a week before, it's sort of...
You got
Playing
5
cards.
days of
Yeah.
elevator music,
Yeah,
lobby
yeah.
music.
Xbox, you know.
But
Half
it's a good point you make, and I was going to, because an image that lived with me from that game was Scott Prince racing across field to push a winger into touch, and there was 4 other blokes doing it, and when they did it, he sort of half pumped his fist to say, that's what we want in the club. But the interesting thing is, I'll put a question to you, gentlemen. Who would you rather be, the coach of the Titans or the Knights?
Definitely the Titans, because nothing's expected of them. The poor old Benny at the Knights, honestly. He's supposed to win a premiership in his first year there because he's won 6 elsewhere. I mean, it's just amazing. But that was just a stunning game of football. Did you see any of that?
No, but I'm not sure I'd answer the same as that.
Would you rather be the coach of the Knights working for Nathan Tinkler?
Well, the coach of the Knights already got 5 premierships, hasn't he? 6.
Yeah, but in terms of going forward, okay, we're talking... I'll give you both...
Well, he's in his first year, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, how do you rebuild a team in a year?
not quite.
Get rid of
Amo.
players, bring players in,
Yeah,
imprint yourself on it.
But
It's
hang
too
on.
early, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it's too early. Look, I was talking to him only a week ago, and he said what he's trying to do there is change the culture. He said they're a club that doesn't have that winning culture, and the players haven't got what he's had in other clubs where they're prepared to give 100% to what they're doing on the training paddock and in game. He hasn't developed that yet. That takes a while to get that message through.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I saw a sign in the crowd yesterday from a Newcastle supporter holding up saying, show some passion. And I thought, gosh, that was the one thing that Knights, when they had nothing and when they first came into the premiership, they had John Schuster and they'd go you hard for half an hour. And it was the one thing they always had. It's so disappointing they haven't got it. Secondly, I just think, mate, they did make the 8 last year. They have added Snowden. They have added Boyd. I mean, we shouldn't have to... We're talking about them as if they finished 15th last year
true.
and they're going to be 12th this year. Mate, they... holding their ground was an absolute bare minimum this year.
True.
I think we've got to admit that.
But there's still 13 weeks out from the 8.
They are.
They can win 5 in a row and you're in there.
I tell you what's a bad look though, Baz, and you spotlighted. Defence's attitude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Titans, it was there.
Yep.
Their commitment. I'll tackle for you. Who'll tackle for him? He'll tackle for me. It was they were
Yes, that was
rubbery
tough
as 50 points.
But, having said that, the Broncos score 50 points to beat them. Amazing game. Look, I'll just touch on one thing. I went out for a while.
Yep.
They were leading 24-0. And I thought, I'll go and do this, go and do that. Came back in, turned the radio on. 24-18.
Yeah.
I thought they'd change to a different game.
Yeah.
How would that happen? But getting back to the point, and we'll hear from the Broncos coach, Anthony Griffin, he's not a happy man at all. They put a half century on the other team, but he's not happy because he knows that their defence has to be better than that, because when they come up against a good team, like Melbourne Storm, they'll get beaten by 20. Oh, hang on, they got beaten by 20 last week. By Storm. So we'll hear from Anthony Griffin. just what he thought about yesterday's game.
Yeah, it's nice to win, and the players are, they work very hard out there today in periods of the game, and we're not at our best at the moment, so it's nice to win, and
38 minutes. That's
we've got a lot of work to do.
Well, that's enough for rugby league for the time being.